Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Greetings, Algo Artisans. Monday, June the 29th, we're going to take a look at some of the trades I'm interested in possibly taking this week for the NASDAQ, Bitcoin, USDCAD, EURUSD, AUD, USD, gold, and silver. Before we get into that, please take a look in the description. There is a free algo in there. You have to optimize the algo first, but it is a very quick video. I show you how I build an algo. I show you the tools that traders use to connect that algo to their computer so it can trade for them while they're not even sitting at the computer. And it's free. Take a look. Also, please like and subscribe. Something like 60% of you do not subscribe, and yet you continue to watch. So please do that. Now, before we do get into the charts, we're going to take a look over at forexfactor.com to see when some of the economic news is scheduled to come out. Now, of course, there may be some unexpected news that does happen, but this on forexfactor.com is the news that we can predict and trade around. So here it is. Monday is over. Tuesday, June 30th has a little bit of news at 8:30 a.m. EST. The Canadian GDP comes out. A little more data coming out around jobs and some other stuff at 10 a.m. EST. But remember, it's the last day of June, so trading might be a little bit tricky, might be a little bit slow, or it might be unpredictable because a lot of contracts may roll over at that time, or at least fiscal numbers. Also, it's the 6-month candle that comes out. So they may try to paint the candle a certain way. It might be that they already like prices where they are for the most part, so the price is not allowed to move around. So I would be really careful trading the next day or two. Wednesday is going to be relatively quiet. It is a Canadian bank holiday, so trading the loonie might not really yield you very much unless the dollar moves a lot. We do have at 9 a.m. EST some data coming out. The Bank of England Governor Bailey speaks, and then Chairman Warsh speaks. That all happens at 9 a.m. EST. And then the ISM manufacturing data comes out for the dollar at 10 a.m. EST, so that could move prices around for the morning session. So perhaps be very careful around that time. You don't know what they're going to say right around that 9 a.m. time, and then it's going to be topped off with some data drop at 10 a.m. So maybe might be better just to wait and to trade until 10 a.m. is what I'm going to do. Thursday, the 2nd, is the last full trading day of the week, last full trading session in the US. We have 8:30 a.m. data dropping, some employment data is coming out, and that's 8:30 a.m. EST. And then that's pretty much it for the day. Friday, the markets shut down early, 1 p.m. EST. No data coming out, and there is a bank holiday after that. So it's probably going to be pretty slow. This week might not be the best for any kind of high time frame trading. Nonetheless, I will take a look at the charts, see what possible trades there are, but I do urge caution based on all the things we just talked about. Let's take a look at the charts, and we'll start with the NASDAQ. So here's the NASDAQ. I do expect it to stay range bound, but it's the NASDAQ. Anything can happen. So some kind of news comes out. Maybe Kevin Warsh and the Bank of England governor say something remarkable. Perhaps that can push price around. But outside of that kind of thing, I expect price to be range bound. And it's been range bound for the last week or so as well. In fact, the last 2 or 3 weeks, keep finding ourselves in these ranges, right? And so that just means that price is kind of moseying along, deciding what it wants to do. And I don't see a reason for that to stop this week outside of any surprise events. So we have upper bound sitting at about 30,280, lower bound sitting at 29,130, and the simple way to trade this might be to take longs and shorts right at those levels. So perhaps if price continues, makes a top right here, I may consider a short, or at least getting short with my bias at that time. And if price bumps across the bottom here, then perhaps I would consider getting long or having bias long at that time and just kind of wash, rinse, and repeat. Friday, I think I'll be out pretty early. I may not even trade on Friday. This is almost like a vacation week. There are weeks like that, especially in the summertime. And they do say sell in May and go away. It's an old saying. I think that applies here. Right here at the beginning of June, the end of May, we had the big move down, and price has not recovered the all-time high ever since, which is at 31,113 on the NASDAQ. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin overall bearish right now. It might continue to bounce at this 59,169, but if you ask me, it's kind of hanging on by a thread. I think it might grind around and break down below that. Remember though, at about 56,000, this is where price is not going to want to go down now. It may go down, and if it does go down, it could go down rather precipitously, but you might get a bounce right about here. So I'm expecting price to grind around, possibly head down or not, and make it down as far as 56,000 by the end of the week, or maybe not that far. We'll have to see how it goes. Again, it's a pretty slow week, pretty quiet week. As far as trades are concerned, I might look for that breakdown and then try to short that. There's just not a lot of meat on the bone until something like that happens. So either that or if something different than what I am forecasting happens. Perhaps we get some new data and it looks like price will head up for some reason. Any kind of trade like that, of course, I would modify this chart Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on the live sessions if anything were to change, right? But this is the trade that I'd be interested in. A breakdown, maybe I catch an entry like a nice small pullback right here and then grab that short. That's the only thing I consider. And Bitcoin's pretty jerky right now. I'm not too sure how interested I'm doing it. I would keep the stop pretty generous on this one though. I would expect liquidity grabs. I would expect, hey, look, it's time to go short, and then it grabs your stop loss. Be real careful with Bitcoin right now, but that's the kind of trade I would be interested in. Let's take a look at USDCAD. Very bullish, and I'm expecting sideways to up, kind of like last time, where it's just a trajectory, whether it goes up a lot or up a little. There's always that chance it grinds sideways on such a slow week. That can happen, but it's a lesser probability for me. I expect it right now to actually just sideways up and to the right. Might have a hard time breaking this high right here at 142,503, right about there. So if it does though, I would be interested in a long. I would not short this. The bias is definitely long, but I would look for a breakout and long it up. Now, where would the targets be? That's kind of a tough one. It's blue skies up there. There's not a lot of resistance until way up high. So I'd say the safest way to go about this would be maybe like a fib extension based on the prior major impulse, and that would put my first target right about 143.160 or my second target at 144.10. I don't expect it to go this high this week on such a slow week, but you never know, especially with the US having bank holidays, Canada having bank holidays. I'd be pretty conservative with this, but that would be the kind of trade I would consider. Okay, let's take a look at the euro. Euro has been resilient. In the end, it is still pretty bearish, so it could grind sideways and head down. If I were to look for a trade, not a lot of meat on the bone yet again. If there is an early breakout of this level right here at 113.25 or so, if there is an early breakout, if it happens early in the week for swing trades, if it can break down here and head down, that's the kind of trade I'd be interested in. And again, I think it's going to be a slow week, and I never hold positions over the weekend, especially not in this environment, but that's the kind of trade I would be interested in. Right now, though, I'm not excited to trade this week, not unless I see something awesome. I will be scalping the NASDAQ as usual and even be very careful while doing that. Let's take a look at the Aussie. Aussie is rather bearish, so there is a strong support right here at this level, which is 68,343, right? So that's the tricky part. The 68.3 cents level, price is not going to want to go below that. A lot of people will get long right there. I mean, I would do that maybe on a low time frame trade, or if something severely changed in the algos, a lot of people are going to want to do that, but I'm not sure I want to do that. I certainly wouldn't go short above this level, but if we get a real clean break below that, I might consider going short right there. There's always that chance of a liquidity grab, and the market can play games with you, but that's the kind of trade I'd be interested in. But right now, it's kind of a no trade zone. It's bearish into a support. So now if I get a real clean signal at the support, the price is going to go long. That would be where I would take that long. And I mean a clean signal. It's got to be clean. Let's take a look at gold. Hate to say it, gold and silver are bearish, right? Now, I do think we're going to see gold go down towards 3,500. I don't think it's going to happen this week. Gold and silver right now are kind of like trajectories, just like the Canadian is right now, where it's just, is it going to go low or lower? Now, it could grind sideways. Precious metals have a way of kind of surprising you with being strong at their support. So it's either going to grind sideways and not do a whole lot. I would be interested in a short if it reached this level yet again. So let's say 4,100 basically. I would consider going short there if price can make it there. That I would do. And of course, if we get a clean break below this level right here, which is 39.56 or so, then I would look to go short on that. Those are the two areas I would consider a trade. I don't think it'll make it all the way down to 3,500 this week, so I don't expect to have this big long target. I would use probably Fibonacci targets, which would put me down at right about there or here. So I would probably need to take this lower target on that for me to be interested in this trade. Okay, that's probably the trade to take for me if I were too short gold. Let's take a look at silver. Gold and silver, again, bearish. Silver might stay above this local low, which is actually right here, but there's also a higher time frame low right there as well, right about 55. If silver breaks below 55 in a very clean manner, then of course it might be time to go short on that. But I'm telling you, the sentiment, especially on gold, but silver too, is pretty short right now. Again, it can surprise us and we might see price go ahead and bounce around in the same range all week, as slow of a week as that is. And if price made its way up to 59.66, I might be interested in taking a short in that. But again, that would require algorithmic approval, if you will, right? Like I wouldn't just blindly short that level. I would let the algos tell me it's okay to go short and take a short there. So again, it's a pretty quiet week. However, there are opportunities out there. There do need to be some pretty significant things happening for me to be interested in those opportunities, but nonetheless, here we are. This is what we do at Algo Factory. We predict where price is going to go, when it's going to get there, and we use that data to extract money from these markets. So if you want to know how to do that, contact us. An easy way to do that is to go into the link into the description, get the free algo, and that'll put you on the path over to getting in contact with us, or just go to algofactory.tech and sign up there. We'd love to see you. Don't forget that algo is free, right? That free algo in the description. It's really cool because it shows you how easy it really is to do this. It's not that hard to actually build an algo. The work comes in testing the algo and basically putting yourself through the psychological process to become a real good trader, right? Traders not just having a good method. Hey, try this and you'll win. A lot more to it. We teach at algofactory.tech. Don't forget we are live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8:30 a.m. EST. So come check us out on YouTube. First 10 minutes is free for anybody. You can ask about charts that you want to see, if you want to see a particular stock, or if you want to see anything that trades in a candlestick. I'll take a look at it. Just don't send me any of those dumb like meme coins or something. Anything but meme coins, please. Unless it's a big meme coin. If you want me to look at Pepe or something, I can look at it. Nonetheless, we'll see you there bright and early, 8:30 a.m. EST sharp. And thank you for watching.